Good evening. It is night 39 on the Elul Screen challenge. Just one night away from the beginning of Yom Kippur. I will not be here tomorrow night as it is the start of Yom Kippur. And I will hopefully check back with you at the conclusion of Yom Kippur, Thursday night. We are on page 67 of Inner Work, Teachings of Rav Ashlag. And we've been on a journey. It's been great, really positive for me being on the Screen Challenge, doing these recordings, this study, getting deeper into the process, preparing for the high holidays. And I'm looking forward to Yom Kippur starting tomorrow night. Page 67. We are made of two opposites, body and soul. Therefore, in every aspect of Judaism, there are two opposites that coexist. So this is a bit different in the translation from the Hebrew. The first part is basically right, or not right, but the same. We are made of from two opposites. Body and soul. In the Hebrew it says L'chein b'chol inyan hayahadut yesh bet kavim hafuchim shetzarich lekayem et shnehem. Therefore, every aspect of Judaism has bet kavim, two lines, hafuchim, opposite, opposing. Shetzarich lekayem et shnehem, that we need to accept or fulfill both of them. So I sat with this a bit before I got on here to really get deeper into it. So we are made of two opposites. We're made of body and soul. We're made of the both infinite light and finite substance, body and soul. Finite corporeal reality, finite substance that is creation, and soul that is light, that is infinite, that is divine, closer to the divine's essence. And therefore, in every aspect of Judaism, there are two pathways, there are two lines that are opposing. Meaning, there's the substance, there's the corporeal reality of a thing, which represents Kav small, the left line, and there's a infinite aspect, there's a divinely aspect of a thing within Judaism, which is Kav Yamin, the right line. Right? So you can also understand there's the Kli and the Or. There's the vessel, which represents the body, and there's the light, the Or, which represents the soul. And so within Judaism, there's every aspect of Judaism has both a physical aspect and a spiritual aspect. And our purpose is lekayem et shnehem, shetzarich lekayem et shnehem, that we need to embrace and accept both of them. What does that mean? That means to bridge between the two worlds of body and soul, between the finite and the infinite, to embrace both the physical aspects of the practice and the spiritual aspects of the practice. Also, what does it mean? It means to embrace the kavyamin, the reality in the realm in which all is perfect and all is light and all is complete and healed already, and the realm in which things are broken, where there's pain, where things need tikkun, things need to be fixed and healed. So both of them, both of these aspects need to be embraced within the practice, the spiritual practice of Judaism. And we need to both embrace our physical reality and that which follows our physical reality, which is our story, our personality, our history, our identities, all of that which is the substance of the body and the left line of consciousness and practice. And we need to embrace that we are made of the light, that we are, our true core identity is that of the divine, of undifferentiated spiritual light. God's giving of goodness and pleasure is continually renewed by our continually attaining new vessels to reveal new light. God's giving of goodness and pleasure is continually renewed by our continually attaining new vessels to reveal new light. So the more that we continue to attain new vessels to reveal new light, the more God gives goodness and pleasure. Right? So it goes hand in hand. The more that we attain new vessels to reveal the light, the more that our capacity grows to reveal the light, the more we're able to be that light in the world, the more we're able to articulate that light, the more we're able to inform and support others in opening to the awareness of that light, the greater the goodness and pleasure of God's light and love can be renewed within us, can be filled within us and renewed not only in us, but on the planet, in the collective consciousness as well. Emunah and giving are the same thing. Right, so as we've seen previously, Emunah is likened to the spiritual light of Yechidah, the highest soul level, and it is God's oneness and light being revealed, and giving, which is an expression and a result of being full of God's light and love, being filled with that through the practice of Emunah. The result of that is giving, because we are full with that light. We are full through the embodied faith in God and God's light and God's plan, and thus we are giving at the same time. Because also Emunah is giving. Emunah the embodied faith is giving light and revelation into the world. Because emunah is revelation. Because we are in a state of recognizing the unity of God and the purpose of creation and the direction of God. And that in itself, that recognition, that faith is a giving to the world, because it is a giving of revelation, revealing God's plan and revealing God's light in the world at the same time. The Bala Sulam said that the sin itself is the punishment, right? The sin itself is the punishment. This is because the sin is a moving away from the light. It is a moving away from the love of God and the union with the divine. Thus, it is the sin itself. It is detracting from one's connection with the divine, and that is the punishment. That is the punishment itself, right? If you're in a place of connection and then you do a quote-unquote sin, you are immediately in a place of disconnection. And disconnection is the punishment to one who is longing to be in union with the divine, one who is on the path of being in union with the divine. So the sin which takes you away from that is the punishment itself. The Bala Sulam said that our core sins occur in the state of spiritual ascension. The Bala Sulam is speaking about a person involved in inner work who receives an ascension from God but does not take advantage of it properly. The spiritual light is not used to attain deeper level of giving, but is only used for enjoyment. This is not using God's gift in an ideal way, right? So this is speaking about a particular type of sin of a particular type of person, right? A person involved in inner work who is receiving an ascension from God, meaning there's some grace that's allowing the person to open up to a higher state of consciousness, to have more of God's light and purpose be revealed to this person. And that in this state, a core sin occurs in that spiritual state of ascension. What is the core sin? The core sin is not using the spiritual light in a proper and fitting way. Not using the spiritual light to attain a deeper level of giving, but instead is using the spiritual ascension and the spiritual light only for a personal enjoyment, right? So if you're on the path of ascension and you're working in the pathways of emunah and embodied faith, and you're yearning for deeper connection with the divine, and through that process, through grace, you're opened up into a higher state of consciousness, where you receive this spiritual light, which is a spiritual state of union with God, feeling more and more, feeling God's oneness and God's presence in your body and in your being and in your existence. And if instead of using that ascension, using that spiritual light to attain a deeper level of giving, giving back to the world, giving in divine service to recognize that you're here to serve the divine and serve the unfolding of humanity's evolution, humanity's healing and awakening. But instead, you use it for your own enjoyment, which means, in a way, you just sort of bliss out, and you just stay in that blissed out state of like everything is one, and it kind of is now, as I'm saying that, reminds me of sort of maybe an Eastern philosophy where you like attain samadhi and you're in that, Sat Chit Ananda, you're in that blissed out state, and that is your end goal. You just hang out there rather than recognizing, oh no, I was given this awakened state in order to serve the divine. The divine has a plan, which is the healing and awakening of all of humanity and all of life on earth. And I'm here to serve that. I've been given this light, this spiritual ascension and this energy, not just for myself to bliss out, which already is an incredibly high state of consciousness, but that's not it. It's to receive that light, that energy, that love, and then immediately want to give back. And if you've ever had an altered state, a high state of unity consciousness, where you're just feeling so much love from the divine, it's very, very natural to want to give back, to feel, what can I do to give back to you, divine, for this just overwhelmingly beautiful, fulfilling experience, right? There's a very natural occurrence to a longing to give back to the divine and to be in service. Right? This is not using God's gift in an ideal way, right? It's a gift from God to be able to open to that level of unity consciousness, to experience God's unity, the divine oneness. And if we don't use that gift in the ideal way, which is to be of service and attain a deeper level of giving back to God, of giving back to creation, then that is said to be our core sin. That's a core sin, as he said that. That our core sins occur in a state of spiritual ascension, right? When we hold on to that light just for ourselves, for our own personal enjoyment. Beautiful teaching. The Zohar says that Emunah is a spiritual light. God only gives this light to someone who is making an effort to reach the state of giving. That's sort of redundant from previous passages. But it's always good to keep sharing the same insights again and again, so they go in deeper. Emunah is a spiritual light, as we've said. It's the highest level of soul, Yechidah. It's the revelation of God's unity and plan. And God only gives this sacred light to someone who is making effort to reach a state of giving, for someone who is saying, I'm here to serve you. I'm here to serve your will. Thy will be done, not mine. Unite my will with your will, so that I may serve the divine unfolding of what's happening here, what's actually going on this planet, in this existence. Let me be of service to the divine. Those who are seeking to be of service, they are the ones that God will reveal this spiritual light of emunah too. So work at that, keep at it, myself included. Final passage before we enter Yom Kippur, Erev Yom Kippur, tomorrow night. There is no difference between now and the future, in that, quote, the entire earth is filled with God's glory, end quote, even now. Our work is to act according to that truth, even when we do not feel it. So this also, this also contains a core Kabbalistic teaching, to which there are three realities: Matzav Aleph, Matzav Bet, and Matzav Gimel. Matzav Aleph is the pre-creation state of existence where everything is in total union. There's nothing broken. Everything is in a state of wholeness and completion. Matzav Bet, the second reality, is the reality of our world of exile, of brokenness. And Matzav Gimel is the world Olam Haba, the world to come, in which the exile is completed from the coming of the Messiah. And we go back to a state of completion, but in a new way in which we continue to keep a layer of a sense of separate self, even within the unity, which is a I lost the word, an oxymoron. I lost the word, it's late. But the point is that the entire earth is filled with God's glory even now, meaning we're already in both Matzav Aleph and Gimel. We're already in that is Kav Yamin, that is the right line of consciousness in which everything is already complete, everything's one. There's nothing really needed to be done at all at that level of being and consciousness. We're already in it, we're already awake, we're already God. But Matzav Bet is the work. Our work is to act according to that truth, meaning to act within a state of emunah, that we know and believe that is the truth of the core of reality, that it's already complete. Everything already is God, everything is one, everything is light and love. But we are here in Matzav Bet, in the exile paradigm, to work. Our work is to act according to that truth through emunah, even when we do not feel it. Right? That's the whole point. That's the practice. That's the spiritual test, is to be living in a state of emunah, of knowing the truth of God's unity, while we are not feeling it, while we are in a state of hiddenness, lack of redemption, lack of revealed light, but we're in a state of hidden light, which is the exile itself, which is the beautiful thing that if we were only in Matzav Aleph or Gimel, there would be nothing to do. There would be no, we would be in a state of complete union. And there, in that reality, there's really no experience of the light, which is another deeper teaching here that I've been feeling into the past couple weeks, is that the darkness is what allows the light to be felt. The fact that we can't see is what allows us to be able to see. The fact that God's light is hidden is what allows God's light to be revealed, right? If it was all light, there would be no contrast. There would be no capacity to sense light, because you wouldn't have anything to compare it to. You wouldn't have darkness, the absence of light to compare light to. So evil, darkness, the world of exile is a gift in itself. It's a gift because it allows for the experience of the light. Without the exile, without the darkness, without evil, we would not be able to experience light, would not be able to get the gift of light, and we would not be able to get the gift of emunah, working in embodied faith that this is what's happening, that God is what's happening, and God's plan to reveal God's unity and God's light is what's happening, and that we are here as extensions of the divine in finite form to come home back to our true identity as extensions and expressions of the divine. We wouldn't get that. There would be no revelation, because it would already be revealed. So this whole world of exile and all the darkness is a gift from God. That's a profound teaching. It's profound to feel that and to actually live in that way. It completely transforms how you view the world, how you view darkness, how you view evil, how you view the absence of light and the absence of God, the hiddenness of God, that it's all really this profound gift so that we can experience God and that we can work through emunah to be in service to God. So as we enter this Yom Kippur, this day of atonement, this day of at-one-ment, I bless you all and hope you'll bless me back to continue to work, to live as though we felt God even when we don't feel God, to live through embodied faith that God is what's happening, and healing, transformation, and awakening is what is happening here. This is what is real. And that we continue to take steps to deepen our connection to the divine, deepen our connection with emunah, and to bring about greater healing for ourselves, for our friends and family, and for humanity, and for the entire planet, so that we can live in the Garden of Eden. The Garden of Eden is here. It's ready for us. We just have to open our eyes, our hearts, and our souls to see and be its revelation. So with God's help, we can continue to evolve and to open and to bring more light into this world and more healing and more awakening. Amen. Ken Yehiratzon. May it be the divine will. Shana Tova, Gemar Chatima Tova, and we'll see you on the other side.